fan art thing in the movie is Brightburn by James Gunn, which looks kind of amazing. It's coming out in about a month, and it's sort of a different take on what could have happened if Kal-El had turned out a little differently. So this is a little layout that I put together a couple of days ago and kind of sketched it up, and now I'm going to get the pencil part of it going. And it'll eventually be a whole big digital poster size thing that I'm going to submit to their fan art contest, because it never hurts. And I would highly recommend everybody that's interested in doing art and is watching this, think about who is seeing your work and how you're getting your work seen. And who do you want to have see your work? And for me, I would love to have James Gunn take a look at what I'm doing and be like, hey, let's do a thing. Because I think that would be terribly fun. Plus, he's also back on Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is great news. So, never hurts to try. So this image is going to be the boy Brandon from the movie, who has abilities beyond humans and seems like a really nice kid, but he gets bullied a lot, and bullying isn't a cool thing, you know? He gets bullied a lot at school because he's different. He doesn't really seem as social as the other kids, and that kind of thing does unfortunately seem to happen a lot. But maybe this changes him a little, and he ends up becoming something significantly more terrifying than Superman. Although, you know, it also shows in the right storyteller's hands, Superman could be pretty terrifying too. I have my friends here keeping me company. I don't know if they're talking to me or each other. At this point, I have a feeling it's just a conversation between the two of them, and they're just laughing at what I'm doing. The new Star Wars trailer for Episode 9 came out a couple of days ago. I've been kind of in that mode. And usually when I'm out here drawing, I have some kind of music going, but it turns out that music and video recording aren't necessarily going to happen at the same time on the same phone very well. So we are foregoing music today in order to actually get a video of this. Get a little carried away. found a couple of reference pictures of this young man who's playing Brandon, and I chose these largely because the look on his face on this side has, this kid's an amazing actor, has that whole feeling of just being distraught. You get the impression he starts out this movie, at least, as a really good kid who's just going through some terrible stuff. Whether it's just the bullying, or I'm not really sure exactly yet, because, well, no movie until end of May. But this is a picture of him with his adopted mother, who seems to be consoling him from something pretty bad that's happened to him. And not having any real context, I grabbed this one because I feel like this is when he was really just a good kid and not feeling like he had a place. He was ostracized and very alone feeling, and all he had was his family, who I think understood there was more to him than just being from another world early on, but they don't really quite know what to expect. And there's scenes of him chewing through forks and stopping a lawnmower blade with his finger, and just stuff like this that takes him by surprise. So apparently the whole family isn't aware of his abilities at this point, or they're just finding out about them. So up until then, it seems like he's just a lonely outcast kind of kid. I don't know how many noises are coming through here on the video. Let's see if I can get rid of a lot of those before we post it, because out here in the studio, we don't have soundproofing, so we have dogs, and we have, I don't know, folks yelling at each other in the alleyway. What's going on out there? Some stuff. There's always something. This side, Brandon is definitely aware of his abilities, and he seems to be changing. Not necessarily into something, but his demeanor is very different. I get the impression that at some point during the movie he goes through some more dramatic physical changes as well. just in the point of getting to where he's maybe having some kind of alien influence taking over, or just not putting up with anybody's crap anymore. It's entirely possible that that's the whole direction this is going. Yeah, on this side, he's sitting in a fire truck. He's a little more disheveled, and the look on his face is a little less empathic. That's the best way to put it. Was, like I said, this actor's pretty impressive. This young man has the ability to act unempathically, which, usually when an actor is acting something, it's the emotions coming through, and here he's literally just a cold block of anger, or distant. I get the impression a plane crash has happened at this point. He is sitting nearby in a fire truck, and it's quite clear to the viewer that he had something to do with that plane crash. But the folks in the town could not imagine such a thing, I would think. And I really kind of love this logo that is definitely an alien symbol of some sort, but also the character's name is Brandon Breyer. I believe it's Brandon Breyer or Brandon Bayer, something like that. And so the logo being two B's, I thought was kind of fun, because it's like it's almost like he's retaining his identity, his self-awareness, despite the changes he's going through. And I don't know if that was intentional on the filmmaker's part. No, knowing James Gunn, everything is intentional on the filmmaker's part. But yeah, this double B thing, I don't get the impression he invented it. It sort of like seems to have come to him, whether through a alien vision of some sort or something. Just he's scribbling it in notebooks and on windows and everywhere, and I think there's a whole lot more to it than just being his initials. It's not just marking his territory with his name so much as it is some alien writing or alien influence. It just happens to also be his initials. I think that was an accident. Not a total accident on the filmmaker's part, but an accident in that the aliens had no intention of having him become BB. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this movie. This is the Superman story has been told a million times now, and to see someone come at it from a whole new direction like this is pretty fascinating and kind of exciting. Hollywood likes to reboot everything these days, and it seems like even the studios doing the rebooting seem to be missing the point that the movies making all the money are definitely telling stories that we're sort of familiar with from the comic books or whatever, but in a very different way. They take the characters that we've grown up with and give them new life. It's not really as so much a reboot. And we get I don't know, the live action Dumbo and live action Lion King and live action These are beautiful movies, no getting around it, but I'd sure like to see some new stories, and that's what I love about the Marvel universe, is they're telling some really great new or other stories that may not be so new, but very, very different way. And the rumor that I read was this Brightburn movie might actually tie in some way to something the DC universe is doing, because apparently James Gunn has been talking to folks there, maybe, or rumors. YouTube is full of possibles, but I would kind of like to see them pull off something like bringing this kid in as a villain for the DC universe to have to deal with, even if it was like part 2 of Shazam or something, where he's got to face somebody who's got that alien level Clark Kent style power that no one's really up to the challenge of, because it's all gone wrong. I'm an illustrator, not a storyteller, and these people have always kind of just blown me away with the direction they went that I never expected. This is a little tricky because my reference photo is from a screenshot I took of the trailer, and so it's not exactly crisp and sharp. I'm trying to find where these contours are around background elements that aren't that much different from the face. I'm really going to pull that face out of all of these other elements. Funny is, I just know that I want this pencil drawing to be part of the final artwork, but I don't know how much of it will actually be part of the final artwork, because once I get it in the computer and get started doing stuff to it, it might not be as sharp and clear and obvious as this video is showing it. So this might actually be the most anybody sees of this pencil drawing if it ends up becoming digitally manipulated to the point where it's hard to tell what's going on, and it might have to be kind of subtle. There are rules to these contests, and haven't gone through entirely all the rules. I'm a little under the gun on this one. I kind of found out about this contest late. I get the impression people have been entering it now for about 2 weeks, and here I am starting on mine. Hey, I just got the email, I'm going to tell you. But I always seem to find out about these things at the very last minute, and then I'm jumping through hoops trying to get something put together to send in. Or all these other people are spending a month on a piece. I'm going to be spending like 3 days. Tend to end up like that. When I did the Trolls video for the Dr. Horrible sing-along blog, Joss Whedon did a fan submission thing, and we found out about it the week before submissions were due, and people had been posting videos for about a month before that. So I get the impression that we found out about a 2-month-long contest in the last week and sent in a submission. It's kind of a very quick last-minute thing. We filmed video and recorded music and did all sorts of crazy stuff, and that's on the YouTube channel somewhere, I think. But, somewhere. I feel like hunting down our crazy day of Dr. Horrible video making. It's the ELE Trolls, I think is how it got listed. We were the Trolls. And very crazy day of me and my friend Jeff and my daughter Joss in about the most random silly makeup at a party city that you've ever seen. Playing instruments or battle axes below a bridge, because of course that's where trolls live. And yeah, we showed up on their end credits. We didn't win the contest, but we were definitely mentioned pretty high up in the credits. They went through all of their entries, and they had thousands and thousands of entries, and I think we were mentioned like in the top 30 or something, so that was kind of cool. And I don't really do these things to win them so much. It's always nice if that happens, like when I did the Rockstar Supernova thing and won the trip to Hollywood and met all those guys, and that was kind of awesome. But the intent isn't necessarily to win as much as it is to just show appreciation for something that's really entertaining, and it's my way of saying, hey, I liked it this much. Don't get me wrong, winning is fun. There's nothing wrong with that either. But if you do these kinds of contests with the intent of winning, you find yourself pretty disappointed most of the time, because it's generally only a couple of winners. One winner in most cases. And this one, there will be 5 winners apparently. Each of them will be getting the prize and then having their artwork used in promoting the movie, and that's the goal, you know. Having artwork used in promoting a big Hollywood movie would be really fun. I don't know if this is considered a big Hollywood movie. Is this like a medium Hollywood movie, maybe? Sorry, I don't usually talk to myself quite so much when I'm drawing, so... And these guys haven't been real chatty the past couple of minutes. I think they're tired. Don't know what I'm doing with this area in here yet. I feel like I kind of want to maybe put more of these little symbols in there or something. I don't know. I'm going to kind of mess around with it and see what happens. But I do want to give a hint of the weird mask that he's wearing at one point in the movie. He's got this mask on that's just quite ominous. It's made of all of these little cross-hatched kinds of fabric things that he looks like he's put together, and then it gets tied up down here. There's like all of this stitching and stuff that's happening. Like he's stitched himself shut from his humanity. I kind of want to hint at that in the final version. And get a little bit of a outline of it in there, and then we'll see how that goes over everything. There might not be a whole lot of this half of the drawing as I'm showing in the final version, because one, the rules might say don't use people's faces or something like that, and then two, I think I'm gonna overlay kind of a digital painting of this mask on top of his face. So this is probably going to be the edge of it here. And then it will wrap over, covering up some of his eyes and leaving that kind of creepy red glow coming through it. Because he has that super laser vision. But Superman is just even scarier coming out of his head. I like the way that they're showing it in the recent movies with Henry Cavill playing Superman, and when he activates that laser vision, it's actually pretty frightening looking, and I wouldn't want to be the bad guy on the other end of that. All the amazing stuff that Christopher Reeve did with that character, he never came off as in any way at all potentially menacing, and I think Henry Cavill has kind of captured that a little bit, where, like, if Superman was off the chain, the world would not be a good place. And here James Gunn has taken it one step further and said, well, here, this is what happens if Superman was off the chain. He was bullied as a kid and never got past it. Didn't have the parents to get him through it, or maybe his parents tried, but his alien heritage took over. Alright, so this I think is about as much as we're going to get done on this today, because to budget my time for what I can get done on this stuff. I've got NorwestCon coming up in a couple of days. This weekend is NorwestCon, and that is held at the SeaTac Doubletree every year, and Jean, my wife, and I will be in the art show, as we always are, taking your money and hopefully making lots of sales for all the artists in there. That's our Easter weekend job every year, is we're in there helping out people who want to buy art from all of the amazing artists that NorwestCon brings in, and you should totally check it out if you're in the area, because they put on one heck of a good art show every year. It is better than just about all of the others that I get a chance to go to. Some of these art shows out there, like Dragon Con and such, are bigger, but I wouldn't necessarily say better. The folks at NorwestCon seem to have this really figured out, and they get some amazing work every year. We've managed to meet some unbelievably talented artists, people that are just icons. They're at NorwestCon. Alright, so that's going to do it for me on this. I'm going to throw a little triangle circle-y thing in here, because that's what I do. And whether or not that'll show up by the time the mask is all done and everything is uncertain also. So thanks for hanging out and watching this with me, and let's just see what happens when it's all finished. Bye.